to fast-track trial of alleged bomber Khalid al-Banawi and 4 others. Gunmen attack burial ceremony in Ogidi, Anambra State, leaving 4 dead and many others injured. Taraba State Government and NAPTIP rescue 11 trafficked children in Delta State. And Charlie Kirk's suspected killer in custody after confessing to his father.
On business, Nigeria posts 7.5 trillion naira trade surplus in Q2, driven by oil and manufacturing exports.
And on sports news tonight, World Athletics President Sebastian Coe expresses excitement about returning track and field to Tokyo.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, NSIB indicts Air Peace crew for alcohol and drugs use.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has approved an application by the Department of State Services, the DSS, to fast-track the trial of Khalid al-Banawi, the alleged mastermind of the August 26, 2011 bombing of the United Nations building in Abuja, along with 4 others. The application, filed by DSS counsel, Mr. Alex Zion, sought an accelerated hearing on the grounds that the service is ready to ensure the case is concluded without any delay. The request, which was not opposed by defense counsels, will allow parties in the matter to review video recordings presented by the DSS.
The 26th of August 2011 remains a sore day in the history of the United Nations in Nigeria following the attack on the UN House, killing at least 21 persons and leaving 20 others injured. Those suspected of masterminding the attack now have their day in court as they face terrorism charges from the Department of State Services. The business of the day is a continuation of trial within trial of Mohammed Usman, also known as al-Banawi, and 4 others, which is to enable the service prove its case against the defendants that the extrajudicial statements they made was done voluntarily, as against the claim of some of the defendants. However, counsel to the Department of State Services applied for the video evidence to be played outside the court in the presence of parties and court officials to speed up the trial. Without opposition from counsels to the defendants, the court grants the request and adjourns to the 23rd and 24th of October for continuation of trial within trial.
We applied to the court to speed up that process by allowing counsel to counsel, that is the prosecution and the defense counsel, to watch this video in the presence of the court officers so as to speed up the viewing of this video. They can take notes and then come back and report to the court. While the court will be sitting, we just play it and then the court will see it. In that regard, we would have saved a lot of time. We've been on this video for almost a year now. There are many.
The DSS had in April 2016 arrested al-Banawi in Lokoja, Kogi State 5 years after the attack. Al-Banawi's trial had begun shortly after his arrest in 2016. However, several legal and administrative issues stalled the trial. He's believed to be a founding member of the Boko Haram Islamist terror group before he became the leader of a breakaway faction.
In Anambra State, 4 persons have been killed and several others injured after gunmen attacked a burial ceremony in Ogidi community in Idemili North local government area. The incident, which occurred on Thursday at AZ village in Ogidi, had been linked to a clash between rival cult groups. The police spokesperson, Mr. Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed this attack, saying that officers from Ogidi division, led by the divisional police officer, responded promptly to a distress call, restored order at the scene, and evacuated the victims for medical treatment. According to him, about 16 expended cartridges were recovered as evidence. The police PRO also says the preliminary investigation points to cult cult rivalry as the cause of the violence. He assured that the discreet investigation is underway to identify, track, and arrest the perpetrators. And over in Taraba State, the government, in collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has rescued 11 victims of human trafficking in Delta State. The victims were reportedly lured from Taraba under the pretext of receiving vocational training, only to discover that they had been taken to engage in cybercrime activities.
The bus conveying the 11 persons trafficked from Taraba to Delta State makes its way to the premises of the Taraba State Ministry of Women Affairs and Child Development after it was intercepted through the collaboration of the state government and officials of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. The persons within the ages of 18 and 24 years were lured under the guise of learning vocational trades, only to realize that they were schemed into cybercrime.
There's a little time, something January, before ending of January. So, because the country was so hard, so my friend told me that, see, so if I did this, it will make me feel I could get something.
The state government says it will not tolerate trafficking under any guise, following the passage of the law prohibiting human trafficking in the state.
Dr. Abu Kefas, Governor of Taraba State, and Her Excellency, his wife, Mrs. Agin Kefas, will reaffirm this administration's unwavering commitment to protecting children, safeguarding families, and ensuring that no traffickers find refuge in our state, Taraba. This is just the beginning. We will intensify awareness campaign, strengthen collaboration with NAPTIP and other security agencies, and ensure the law is enforced without fear or favor.
According to NAPTIP, the victims were confined in a building between 3 to 8 months.
Information got to us that they were confined in a property in Delta State. And according to reports, that they've been there for almost 8 months now. And none of them were given the privilege and opportunity to see or to have freedom of movement and to go about their normal life. But they were confined in the building like that, and then were shared with phones, to go into some kind of cybercrime operations.
The state government maintains that any parent or guardian who knowingly allows their children to be trafficked will face the penalties.
Residents of Gwoza, local government area of Borno State, have raised fresh security and humanitarian concerns, appealing to President Bola Tinubu to take urgent steps to address the situation. Speaking to journalists in Abuja under the banner of Concerned Citizens of Gwoza, the group criticized what they described as a lack of political will on the part of the government to tackle the crisis. They call on the federal government to act swiftly in order to restore peace and normalcy to the region.
We believe if the government is willing, with the cooperation of the concerned citizens, solution will be provided within the shortest possible time. The federal government has to step into this matter to allocate a battalion or barrack in the Gwoza East. That is the hike of the Boko Haram in Gwoza. So once that area is being taken care of, I think 95% of the issue of Boko Haram will just permit. Our prayers, we pray and urgently request that the President and the federal government act swiftly to restore the rights of return, dignity, and safety to all displaced people from Gwoza. Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, hear our cry. Restore our homes, restore our children, restore our dignity. Kindly release the resources budgeted for this cause. ensure transparency, repatriation, and resettlement.
And to politics now, a group under the banner of concerned members of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC in Kogi State, have raised alarm over an alleged plot by a few individuals to forcefully hijack the party's leadership in the state. The group's spokesperson, Mr. Usman Lukman, disclosed this during a press conference in Kaba, Bunu local government area of the state, describing the move as unconstitutional and warning that it will be resisted through every legal and constitutional means available to them.
The crisis rocking the African Democratic Congress in Kogi State is raising dust among members of the party in the state. Some members of the party are raising alarm, alleging a plot to disrupt the existing leadership structure of the party in the state.
Those who recklessly destroy PDP cannot be allowed to invade our political party and structure. It is on the same fate. The ADC in Kogi State was built basically from the grassroots and nurtured with sacrifice, loyalty, discipline. Any attempt to hijack a true unconstitutional means will be firmly resisted using every legal and constitutional instrument available. For the avoidance of doubt, we reaffirm our unflinching loyalty to the Right Honorable Leke Abejide, the undisputed leader of the African Democratic Congress in Kogi State, the Asiwaju of Aluland, the Asiwaju of Yoruba Kano, and the Asiwaju of Yagba land.
Specifically, the group is rejecting plans by some members of the People's Democratic Party to take over the party.
While you are seeing hundreds and thousands of ADC across states agitating that we don't want anybody to come through the window to come and hijack their party, it's because of the fact that they are following the Constitution, and the Constitution is the one guiding us. Before you can say you want to do, there must be Congress. Before you can change any elected party excuse. Before you can even go ahead and say, okay, from the world level to the state level and to the national level. But has that been done? The answer is no.
You see, first of all, when you talk of coalition, when you are coaliting things, it has been done before. Other party will cease from being in existence. They will come together under one umbrella. There will be collective Congress, but nothing of such was done. So coalition or no coalition is dead on arrival.
The group is urging security agencies to urgently intervene in the interest of peace in the state.
In part two, after the break, federal government unveils Renew Her initiative to improve maternal health. Please join us again.
Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 Naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Across Nigeria, one digital platform is changing the game for resellers, business owners, and everyday entrepreneurs who need a trusted source for tech products. Introducing the TD Africa Super App, your gateway to tech products directly from manufacturers. Get access to competitive prices on a variety of products such as computers, phones, consumer electronics, printers, inks and toners, inverter solutions, and many more from brands like Samsung, HP, Huawei, Dell, Zynox in just a few clicks. Scale your business, do seamless trade, track your orders, and maximize profits. Are you ready to join Africa's most powerful reseller network? Join millions of businesses on Super App today and be a part of Africa's digital renaissance. Visit superapp.tdafrica.com to get started. One platform, one purpose, powered by innovation. TD Africa, empowering you.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies. But we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes. That's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
In the heart of Africa's largest economy, a silent transformation is unfolding. At the center of it all is Konga Group, an ecosystem of innovation, commerce, and capability.
Our goal was simple, yet ambitious, to build robust infrastructure that simply connects our customers and our merchants, offering our customers greater variety while creating wealth and new opportunities for our merchants.
Our edge isn't just tech, it's about national execution every day.
Konga Health, where science meets beauty.
We are the engine behind Konga's nationwide delivery power.
We are redefining commerce in Nigeria, connecting millions of buyers and sellers through a secure, trusted, and scalable marketplace.
Konga Corporates serves the needs of corporates, delivered at the right price, at the right time, with peace of mind. Konga Pay, a fintech built on integrity for seamless transactions for merchants and everyone.
Konga Radio and TV, connecting brands to their target audience and markets.
With Konga, what can't you do? Konga Group, the e-commerce group you trust.
The game is changing, consumers are winning, businesses are serving, every consumer needs. Listen to the voice of the consumer. Stay fair with your service, so be good with your product. Every consumer is a ever promise to work and deliver a village. Deliver what you promised. Refund when you can't deliver.
Yes, every business must play fair and deliver what they promise. Never promise the world and deliver a village. FCCPC, promoting choice, ensuring fairness.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give.
Life, they say, is what happens when we're busy making other plans. Right from time, I had my whole dream unfolding ahead of me, ticking all the boxes. Academic journey. I was that child made for the future, but one day, life took a different turn. I lost my father, my sponsor. The loss of my father was the loss of my whole dream. Every day I worked tirelessly to hold my life together, but the gap felt too wide. Until Nell Fund came with a beacon of hope.
Imagine what the Nelfund Student Loan Initiative is doing in the lives of many Nigerian students, giving them a future. Nigeria has never had it so good. This government is putting more smiles on the faces of the people more than ever before. Renewing hopes, rebuilding Nigeria. Powered by Citizen Connected Initiative.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television, Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Court approves DSS application to fast-track trial of alleged bomber Khalid Al-Banawi and 4 others. Gunmen attack burial ceremony in Ogidi, Anambra State, leaving 4 dead and many others injured. Taraba State government and NAPTIP rescue 11 trafficked children in Delta State. And Charlie Kirk's suspected killer in custody after confessing to his father. The federal government has launched a presidential initiative known as Renew Her. It is designed to promote maternal health, women empowerment, and gender equity. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, unveiled the initiative on behalf of the President, Bola Tinubu, at an event in Abuja. And according to him, the program will leverage artificial intelligence, digital innovation, and catalytic financing to bridge the healthcare gap for women and rural and undeserved community. Our State House correspondent, Empress Simon, reports.
In this colorfully lit hall is where the federal government is launching the Renew Her initiative. Vice President Kashim Shettima represents President Bola Tinubu at the event, which also has in attendance the Chief of Staff to the President, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and some spouses of state governors led by the Kwara State Governor's wife, among other dignitaries. The Renew Her initiative is designed to promote women's welfare.
Renew Her is here to convene, to amplify, to facilitate, but most importantly, to collaborate. Together, we form one voice, one coalition, one movement.
The Nigeria Governor Spouses Forum is pleased with the effort of the Tinubu-led government towards addressing the plight of women in the country.
While challenges driven by systemic, cultural, and socioeconomic factors abound, the less favorable statistics on women's health in Nigeria is on the decline, and efforts are being sustained to ensure further decline as there is expanded access to healthcare services for women and girls.
For President Tinubu, speaking through his vice, the initiative underscores his government's resolve to reposition women's health as a national priority.
Renew Her is an answer to one of the nation's most critical prayers. Beyond delivering trusted health information and services, it connects women and families through an innovative AI-powered national women health digital hub. Through this hub, we'll drive geo-targeted national campaigns on maternal survival, adolescent health, preventive care, workforce strengthening, and community coalitions. The initiative also reinforces existing national programs such as MAMI, while complementing the efforts of our development partners and the international community. These are practical steps to empower women as health champions and entrepreneurs, linking health to economic power and national prosperity.
The Vice President then leads guests to unveil the Renew Her initiative, which will also serve as both umbrella and catalyst for interventions across all tiers of government to deliver tangible results. From the Presidential Villa, Empress Simon, Channels Television News.
The shift gears now. Let's head over to Abuja, the nation's capital, to join Gloria Umezeke for more on the news at 10. Over to you, Gloria.
Thank you, Anne. We'll begin with the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, which has released its findings on the Air Peace flights that skidded off the runway at the Port Harcourt International Airport on July 13, 2025. As part of its actions, the Bureau announced the suspension of the flight's captain, while the co-pilot has since resumed operations after being cleared by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. In this next report, our correspondent Dominic Iwoiwu examines key issues highlighted in the NSIB's investigation and the response of the airline.
Following recent incidents in the aviation sector, many Nigerians are asking, how safe is the nation's airways? From unruly passenger behavior to carrier mismanagement and misinterpretation of government policies, the litany of issues within the aviation sector remain, as many officials and operators within the sector keep the conversations alive. For the regulatory body, passenger welfare and the growth of the aviation sector remains imperative.
Well, unfortunately, there's a bit of ignorance of accident investigation processes on the part of AFPs in their statements. You know, they said we did not communicate to them officially, but we're not obliged to communicate to any operator or airline on a preliminary report. This is not a final report. The final report is where we're supposed to give stakeholders to make their comments within 30 days of notification. There were other things there, It talked about, the first officer making one go-around call, which was ignored by the captain. Spoke about, the copy reports recorder being overwritten, which we've complained about, and the NCS complained about people letting the CDR time out, and then we don't get the conversation. So now we're now dependent on what they said. They're telling us, their own versions, so we don't know what they really spoke about. And then finally we said the toxicological test was conducted on the flight crew, and they tested for still some substances.
Other professionals give their opinions on operations within Nigeria's aviation sector.
The report has said that this is pure human error, and then the pilots were culpable. And also, after doing the tests, they found out that they had some level of alcohol in the system, and also the cabin crew also had some drug substance. And I think that's about the first time we're seeing that such report will come out from the NSIB. Again, we now begin to go back with the mode of testing. Are we always waiting for an accident to happen before we do this test? Why? Well, because in other places, there's just spontaneous test of the crew by the regulatory body without them informing the airline or even informing the crew.
He also speaks about the laws and regulations that guide the aviation sector in Nigeria.
The laws and the checklist are sacrosanct. Spontaneous or even informed test that you inform will not stop that. What I think we need to, that is new is that we've not taken it as an area to put that lens on over the time. They develop what they always do it. But we have not done that until even when reported that, look, I don't trust, nobody goes ahead to say, I want to test this crew. But now with this result now, I think both the operators, the regulators, and everybody involved with this now will now need to spring up some different options now on how to ensure that these tests are done.
On their part, AirPeace says it's yet to receive any official communication from the NSIB on such findings, while the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority says it's still undergoing its investigation and will revert as soon as it concludes. With the current turn of events in Nigeria's aviation sector, stakeholders in the industry and the general public look forward to better safety management system to foster a strong safety culture and ensure continuous improvement in the performance of all actors in the aviation industry. Dominic Iwiwu for Channels Television News.
We move to Nigeria's health sector, which may face disruption in the coming days as the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has declared a nationwide warning strike beginning September 12th. The decision followed an e-NEC meeting of the association, which ended in the early hours of Thursday, September 11, where members unanimously resolved to embark on industrial action over what they describe as the federal government's failure to honor its commitments.
The Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba. Activities mask the impact of the 5-day warning strike declared by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors. Although our cameras were not allowed into the patient wards, the president of the Association of Resident Doctors, Luth Chapter, Dr. Ujewan,
the government to be and not react, because there is nowhere in the world where a training fund is delayed to the extent that the period of exams and updates where the fund is needed, the funds are not made available.
The situation is not different in some other states like Kano, where resident doctors at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital also complied with the directive from the national body. Here we see empty patient waiting rooms with a few patients seen around awaiting the skeletal services being rendered by consultant doctors. At the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital in Bauchi State, resident doctors are fully complying with the ongoing strike even though a significant number of patients remain in the hospital, many of whom are unaware that the strike has commenced.
You can't even understand what is going on. You don't know who to complain to and all that. I mean, it's a pity. Oh, for me, definitely, I may have to go to a private clinic.
I want the patient to understand that we usually go on strike not because we want to go on strike. Usually necessity actually compels us to go. We have to be stable emotionally for us to come and take care of you to avoid making unnecessary mistakes. As soon as these demands are attended to, at least to a certain extent, we will come back to our job. That's what we love to do.
The full impact of the strike is expected to become more evident in the coming days as patients and their family members appeal for quick resolution of the industrial dispute between the resident doctors and the federal government.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria posts 7.5 trillion naira trade surplus in second quarter, driven by oil and manufacturing exports. That's on Business News. Let's join us again.
Such tour videos of Italy.
Our next vacation!
One command and I take you away like you are there.
The Duchess International Hospital opened its doors in October 2021. The mission of the hospital is to reverse medical tourism. We take particular care here at the Duchess to bring together a combination of the brightest and the best locally, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who are interested in returning to do very good work for the benefit of our patients here in this country.
The good thing is that we have all international expertise here, all international facilities here, international people working here. Everything is coming together in a space which was considered not great in terms of the availability of healthcare.
Access Bank, of course, has been able to provide us with a robust range of products and services that has enabled us to deliver that standard and quality of healthcare that is integral to our mission as an organization.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point o da. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Na small win where the carry person go far.
No worries, I've go make am. Mogo Bible.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
Welcome to Idemili, your new home for sports betting and thrilling casino games.
It's time to level up your game. Idemili. Bet smart, win big, play with confidence. Incredible odds, non-stop action, fast payouts. And it's all safe, secure, and just a click away. What do you bet? Bet smart, win big, play with confidence.
Play now for a chance to win.
What do you bet?
Tasty, something to fill my belly. I want my golden penny noodles full of flavor, look can. I want what I want. Golden penny noodles is sweet though. It was made for me. I want what I want. Golden penny noodles is sweet though. It was made for me. I want what I want.
Get ready, Atlanta. year, Fidelity Bank and Africon are partnering to bring the best of African and the Black diaspora to your doorstep. September 18th to 20th at the Omni Atlanta Hotel at Centennial Park. From fashion and beauty, energy, travel, trade, to the creative economy, FNITCC at Africon 2025 is where opportunity meets innovation. With over 100 brands from the continent and across the diaspora, top investors, government allies, and the $500 billion African diaspora market in the room, this is a launchpad for growth and global partnerships. So join us as we shape the future of global commerce. In the United States or the diaspora, visit africon.global. In Nigeria, visit fidelitybank.ng-FNITCC. What are you waiting for? See you in September.
Welcome back. Itel, the global consumer electronics brand known for producing affordable smartphones, feature phones, and smart life products, has now unveiled its latest device, the Itel Super 26 Ultra. The company reaffirmed its commitment to serving emerging markets, especially in Africa, where it has a very strong presence. And Itel says that it remains dedicated to delivering budget-friendly, high-quality products that allow every user enjoy a better digital lifestyle.
Itel, acknowledged as a manufacturer of quality and affordable electronics, has hit the market with another innovative product, the Itel Super 26 Ultra AI-enabled smartphone. From the introduction of Itel's Smart Life products, the company has taken it a notch further with its latest, which comes with tech empowerment, a brand created to make life more enjoyable.
Super 26 Ultra is the #1 best smart curved screen you can find under 300k naira. So under 300,000 naira, you cannot get any phone that can offer you everything that Super 26 Ultra will offer you.
The Itel Super 26 Ultra features a 6.78-inch 3D curved AMOLED display with 1.5K resolution and a 144 Hz refresh rate.
Oh my goodness! Guys, look at this. The screen is intact.
The display is protected with Corning Gorilla Glass 7i and offers a rainproof feature that allows the phone to be used when the screen is wet, alongside 8 GB RAM and up to 256 GB storage.
Today we are introducing Itel, the tech empowerment brand, empowerment through AI, empowerment through 5G connectivity, and just making technology accessible to everybody, irrespective of your age, your class, your race.
The National ATL Marketing Manager speaks further on other benefits that come with this new range of Itel Super 26 Ultra.
When you purchase the Super 26 Ultra, you get 2005 offer right from both. You get 1.5 gig data offer from MTN. The Super 26 Ultra is also pre-installed with Google Apps. You also get 6 months free movie box. You also get 1 month of Boomplay music. There is no other smartphone within the price range of Super 26 Ultra that comes with other benefits all over Nigeria, across Nigeria, also outside Nigeria.
In the last 18 years, the company has consistently churned out excellent electronic devices and says its Itel Super 26 Ultra phone will deliver a super quality and durable operations for 6 years. It also notes that the phone's connectivity options on the device include NFC, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and an infrared transmitter to control appliances, just as the handset offers several AI features like AI camera eraser, Circle to Search, and Itel's in-house AI assistant, Solar.
To more company news, OPay, a leading financial technology company, has rewarded 4 lucky customers with 1 million naira each in its My OPay Security Vault Challenge. Well, this campaign is designed to raise awareness about the company's in-app security features, not only celebrating creativity, but also promoting a culture of vigilance in Nigeria's rapidly growing digital economy.
Thank you, please.
With a commitment to better secure user transactions and protection, In today's fast-paced digital environment, OPay, one of Nigeria's fastest one-stop financial service platforms, is rewarding 4 lucky customers in the first phase of its My OPay Security Vote Challenge with a grand prize of 1 million naira each. A campaign set to raise awareness about its 7 in-app security features, which includes USSD lock, large transaction shield, online subscription control, scam alert, night guard, large transaction double check, and emergency lock. OPay's Chief Commercial Officer, Elizabeth Wang, explains the security features and how it's essential to protecting users' money.
If the people rob you, they will force you to use your Face ID to unlock it. It's still unsafe. So we come up with emergency lock to say that, okay, when you see something is unsecure, you quickly one tap lock it, and then that kind of things, 24 hours, no one can unlock your account, even yourself.
One of the social media influencers who drove the campaign speaks on how she came aboard.
90% of my staff use OPay before I even started this campaign. And sometimes I don't even want to send money to any of them. I don't even have to, I'll just say, OPay, Abi, yes. Your phone number, okay. All I have to do is remove the first 0 and all is well.
The winners are then presented with cash prizes.
My OPay Security Vote Challenge Grand Prize.
I felt super excited. You know, it was very, very surprising. So when I got the message, like I just stayed for some seconds, you know, to check my, my TikTok handle to know if it was actually me or it was a mistake. But when I discovered that it was me, when it was announced officially on that page, I was just jumping. Like, I'm super excited. Right now, I'm super excited. I want to use this opportunity to say a big shout out to OPay. They are doing massive things, and God will continue to bless them and, let them grow more and more.
There will be another phase. That's the final phase. The final phase will be when we now give the final prizes. So it runs 4 weeks and then an extra 4 weeks, yes, and then we close the campaign. So it's running for a period of 2 months.
And what more to expect? OPay offers secure, easy, and affordable financial solutions, and is committed to deepening financial inclusion through technology and enabling shared prosperity.
And we have more stories from the world of business with Dominic Iwiwu.
Thank you, Anne. On business news, Nigeria's foreign trade extended its recovery streak, posting a trade surplus of 7.46 trillion naira in the second quarter of this year, and that's the strongest in nearly 3 years. According to latest figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics, the total country's trade stood at 38.03 trillion naira within the period, marking a 5.6% rise from the first quarter and a 20% increase from last year. The NBS data shows that the country exports rose by up to 10.5% quarter-on-quarter to 22.75 trillion naira, while imports slipped 0.9% to 15.29 trillion naira. Meanwhile, crude oil remained Nigeria's mainstay, as it accounted for over half of total exports, with shipments valued at 11.97 trillion naira. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, says it has revoked the operating license of Orishemehin rig over safety concerns. In a statement released today, the oil and gas industry regulator says the decision follows a thorough review of the circumstances surrounding the drilling of Udibe-2 well bore, during which a kick was recorded, resulting in the unwanted flow of formation fluids. The NUPRC says it has directed the company to cease all operations upon the completion of its current well operations. And on the Nigerian stock market, it ended Friday's trading session in the red after recording 4 consecutive days of gains. Ladi Williams tells us more.
Well, from gains to losses and everything in between, here's a snapshot of how your money performed today. It's just near flat, at this point, 0.09%, 140,000 level, still maintained by 545 points there. So nothing to worry about at this point. We've had 4 days of consecutive gains in the market, and this little blip
right there. All right, let's look at the market mover now. We see Dante Cement did dip today, closing at 511 naira. Remember the midweek trade did move the market, in the green, but we're seeing that pressure there with some investors taking profit on that stock. Then for the sectors that we track, we see oil and gas Arador from a little 4 basis points rise yesterday. It's a bigger 2.79% advance, raising the oil and gas counter there almost 1%. Banking also 0.97% to the good. Well, as the market closes its books for the day and the week, one thing is clear: the Nigerian exchange, every tick counts. We'll be back next week following the money.
Thank you, Ladi. Now let's find out what the global equities markets ended Friday's trading session. And that's it on Business News. Back to Anne for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Dominic. And still to come on the news at 10, Charlie Kirk's suspected killer in custody after confessing to his father. That's on the foreign scene. Please join us again.
I'm McLean, your NOAA digital assistant. Here's what you need to know about the second edition of the National Orientation Agency's National Campus Debates, where ideas sparks change and voices make history. Get ready! A grand prize of 50 million naira await the champion. Second place, 30 million naira, and third place, 20 million naira. All accredited public and private universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education have been invited to submit a 3 to 5 minute pre-recorded video presentation on the topic Unity in Diversity, defining national identity in Nigeria's multicultural society. Shortlisted entries will move on to the state level of the competition, while top performers advance to the zonal rounds and ultimately to the national stage. The grand finale will take place during the week of Nigeria's independence celebration. Venue, State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. Attendance strictly by invitation. Powered by National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need help.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer o.
Na money point o. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land at Sure Banker. Progress na small win wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
From the heartbeat of Lagos to stages across the globe, the rhythm of Afrobeats is unstoppable.
Indeed, Afrobeats isn't just a genre, it's a global movement.
Our Nigerian talents have taken the world by storm, and the good news is you can too.
And that's why we're here, to discover the next Afrobeat star.
Together, we've produced many of the biggest Afrobeat hits that have gone global. And now, we're banded to produce a future of Afrobeats. The next Afrobeat star isn't just a reality show. It's a launchpad for your global success.
A pathway to give wings to your dreams.
So, if you've got the talent, the passion, and the drive,
text NAS to 13013. Visit www.nextafrobeatstar.com to send in your demo.
Blow us away with your demo, and we will call you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your journey to becoming the next Afrobeat star starts now.
Welcome back. Let's now join Simon Puse with more international news around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The suspect in the shooting of the American right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk has been arrested and named as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. It's thought his father persuaded him to give himself up after he confessed. Authorities had earlier released fresh footage of the gunman escaping from the roof of the building. Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck while speaking at a campus event at Utah Valley University, sparking a huge manhunt across the state.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU.
Minutes earlier, in an interview on Fox News, Donald Trump likens Charlie Kirk to a son.
A Republican never wins youth, but I won youth. I will tell you, TikTok helped me, but he helped me with TikTok. But he helped me with youth. I've never seen a person who's, in this case, older than the people we're talking about. You know, in many cases, I've never seen young people or any group go to one person like they did to Charlie. He'd go out to Arizona, to any school, to Utah, where he was, but any school, also East Coast, anywhere. And he would have bigger rallies than any radical left speaker.
Ukraine has struck Russia's largest oil terminal on the Baltic Sea during one of its biggest overnight drone attacks in months. The aerial assault targeted the Primorsk oil port in the Leningrad region, the final station of the Baltic pipeline system, and a crucial hub for Russia's maritime exports. More than half of the 221 drones sent to Russian territory were intercepted over the Bryansk and Smolensk regions, where Lukoil facilities were also reportedly targeted. Meanwhile, officials said 2 civilians were killed in Ukraine's Sumy region when a Russian glide bomb struck a village near the border. The former president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has been sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison after being found guilty of plotting a military coup. A panel of 5 Supreme Court justices handed down the sentence just hours after they had convicted the former leader. They ruled he was guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 election to his left-wing rival, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. 4 of the justices found him guilty, with 1 voting to acquit him. Bolsonaro's lawyers have called the sentence absurdly excessive and said they would file the appropriate appeals. A major UN report has found the North Korean government is increasingly implementing the death penalty, including for people caught watching and sharing foreign films and TV dramas. The dictatorship, which remains largely cut off from the world, is also subjecting its people to more forced labor while further restricting their freedoms. The UN Human Rights Office found that over the past decade, the North Korean state had tightened control over all aspects of citizens' lives. The report, which is based on more than 300 interviews with people who escaped from North Korea in the past 10 years, found that the death penalty is being used more often. Secondary schools in 2 neighbouring towns in the Netherlands have been told to shut today because of a spate of violence involving 2 groups of young people. Mayor Martin Smit has issued a 3-day emergency order banning all gatherings of 3 or more people and designated areas as high risk to prevent potential gun use. 2 rival groups of youths have been blamed on the escalating violence, which apparently when serious damage was caused to a school last week. Police said a 22-year-old man had been arrested on suspicion of vandalism. And the Japanese government says the number of people aged 100 or older has risen to a record high of nearly 100,000. Setting a new record for the 55th year in a row, the number of centenarians in Japan was 99,763 as of September. Of that total, women accounted for an overwhelming 88%. Japan has the world's longest life expectancy and is also one of the fastest aging societies, with residents often having a healthier diet but a low birth rate.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Welcome to Sports News on the News at 10. With just a few hours to the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Team Nigeria will begin their campaign for medals early tomorrow morning. Opening up Team Nigeria's campaign is the women's discus throw qualifications, which will see Obiageri Amechi compete in Group A and Chioma Onyekwere Leon in Group B at 1 a.m. and 2:40 a.m. Nigerian time on Saturday. Next is the men's shot put qualifications at 2:55 a.m. Nigerian time, where Chukwuebuka Enekweche will be looking to make his mark. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria have registered 15 athletes for the championship, which will end on September the 21st. Meanwhile, World Athletics President Sebastian Coe is excited to bring track and field back to Tokyo following the empty stands at the Olympics 4 years ago due to the COVID pandemic, as the World Athletics Championships begin this Saturday. The Tokyo Games were held in strict conditions, with fans shut out of most venues and athletes forced to undergo tests and social distancing. But the World Championships will have no such restrictions, and thousands of fans are expected to flock to Tokyo's National Stadium, which seats almost 70,000.
The stadium looks fantastic. I was there on Saturday morning. You can really feel a palpable element of excitement. I spoke to a lot of the athletes last night at one of our media launches. I'm delighted that we'll have a marathon on the streets. I'm delighted that people will be able to line the route. I'm delighted that, you know, there's probably no more knowledgeable fan base than the Japanese fan base when it comes to our road endurance. So absolutely delighted we have made the judgment, initiated absolutely and ostensibly by our medical teams, that we're bringing the start times of those events forward.
Finally, in English Premier League football, Liverpool manager Arne Slot has described signing Alexander Isak as maybe the best striker in the world, but warned he will be eased into action gradually after a disrupted pre-season. Liverpool signed the Sweden forward from Newcastle on transfer deadline day for a British record fee of £125 million.
Don't expect him to be every single game 90 minutes on the pitch. That's definitely not going to happen in the upcoming weeks. He missed a proper pre-season. I think he missed 3 or 4 months of team sessions, and so now we have to build him up gradually. With us playing so many games, hardly any training time, so that's going to be a challenge. But we've signed him not only for the upcoming 2 weeks, we've signed him for I think for 6 years. So yeah, this is what we have to keep in mind, and what the fans have to keep in mind if they see that I take him off at a certain moment, or I only bring him in for a small amount of minutes. That's all for the long-term fitness of the player.
And that's it on Sports News. It's back to Anne for the conclusion of the News at 10.
Thank you, Olumide. And the main news again. The Federal High Court in Abuja has approved the DSS application to fast-track trial of alleged bomber Khalid Al-Banawi and 4 others. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. Good night and have a fruitful weekend.
On Metrofile this week, it's a noble celebration for former Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Mr. Abayomi Sunday Awoni, as he marks his 65th birthday in grand style.